Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Initiative Order, and to tonight's episode of Cthulhu Dark Ages, the medieval Dark Ages inspired supplement to Call of Cthulhu. Before we jump into the session and introducing my group of players, just want to give a couple of shout outs to our sponsors and everything, and then we will jump in. So, first sponsor I want to shout out tonight is Session Zero Clothing. They are a D&D inspired streetwear clothing company. Do some amazing t-shirt designs, hoodies, jumpers, stickers. They've graciously given us a discount code of the word order. If you use that at checkout, you get 15% off. So thank you very much to that. Next up is Norse Foundry, who are an artisan dice making company. Do some very nice wood and gemstone dice, even mammoth tooth dice. But they've given us a discount code of TIO15, gets you 50% off at the checkout. And then next is Roaming Player Gear, our very own GotDM. Ray has his own company, Roaming Player Gear, that make tabletop gaming accessories. And if you use the code Carnaby20, you get 20% off their Dice Tower, Dice Trade, Dice Vault combo travel kit that they do. It's a very nice set. I recommend you guys check it out. And then there is Mithril Armory, who are our sponsor giveaways, our giveaway sponsors even. And at the break, I will give you details on how to get involved in that, as we will have a little giveaway from Mithril Armory that I will show you. And lastly, we just want to, again, give another shout out that we are proud to be ambassadors of Jaspers Game Day. They are a charity trying to raise awareness and prevention of teenage suicide. Have a look in our About section. There's a link to their website and it tells you everything about what they're doing. So please check that out. So, with admin out the way, and before we jump into this very pleasant, calm, relaxing session of Cthulhu Dark Ages, we will quickly go around the group. There's nothing sus. We're fine. We'll quickly go around the group and get some introductions. And we will start with Sara. Do you want to tell us who you are, your socials, what you're about, and then a little bit about your character?
Yeah, so my name is Sara Moni. I cosplay and model, like a lot of Marvel stuff, X-Men heavy, but I love a lot of high fantasy too, so it's great to be here with you guys and getting back into some RPG goodness. My character, her name is Basira, and she is from the coast of modern-day Algiers. Her village was attacked, so she is taking all of her knowledge from a fishing, seafaring family to escape and find a new life, and she finds herself in this new Anglo world feeling very strange, but she's going to make it work.
Yeah, I am sure she will.
Yes.
Next up, Matt. Do you want to go next, mate?
Yes, hello. My name is Matt Stevenson, part of the group Spot Hidden. You can follow me at Matefson, 2 T's, PH. In there, you'll figure it out. I am playing Elias Ferrier. Also, him. He is approximately 35 years old. He has learned, much like his father, to be a smithy. He has experience forging for farmers and soldiers even, but he doesn't quite understand the need for weapons, and he does what he can in his village to help those he can and, well, stick to himself for the most part.
Lovely. And next up, Ayla.
Hello, my name is Ayla. You can find me on Instagram at Assistant Ayla. So today I will be playing Larkin Bennet. He is the resident townie healer. He is very, very average, and he's very young, so his track record's not great. So we'll see how this goes. And I also stream with the Initiative Order on an Alien game, so you can see us next month.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
And then finally, Taryn.
Well, hi, my name is Taryn Hackett. You can catch me on Instagram at Valrook. That's VALROUK. I'm an all-around creative person, and I do TTRPG streaming when I can. And I've got some really cool projects coming up, including the return of Vault, our Fallout RPG from Odysseus. It starts back up June 7th, so you should definitely check that out because I'll be playing a redneck with a gun. Hello. But you can also catch me on Instagram because I'm also a dice maker, and officially you can go follow me under UO_dice. That is Umbral Oculus Dice, and I just started it, so go give me follows and things because I need them. You can go look at pretty dice thingies. So do that because I'll be selling them soon in like a week. So
Do it.
Yeah. And I'll be playing Belladonna. She's a little bitter at the world. She's a weaver. She's been making some really strange shit lately. Just really weird images seem to be coming out in all of her works. She's well over 6 foot tall. She's a little bit of a looker, except she's got this really nasty gimp. And we don't have a whole lot else going for us. So I'm gonna die, you guys. Let's go be good. Shut up, Roman, and don't say anything.
I like your plan. So, now we've got some introductions and everyone knows who's who. Let's jump into this adventure, shall we say. So, we are playing Cthulhu Dark Ages. Therefore, we are in the Dark Ages. The year is 967. And in our previous one shot, check it out on YouTube, the Church Order of Decency, which was a religious sect that was tasked with eradicating known sources of abominations and demon worship, had been doing their work across the lands, and majority of said work was successful and had been accomplished, but there are still some pockets of kind of evil in the world left. But we find ourselves in the quiet coastal village of Hope Cove on the southwestern coast of England. It is a relaxed and simple village, mainly fishermen, farmers, and the odd passing traveller, as it does have a small harbour. Today is like every other day. The fishermen are out in their boats, the farmers are in their fields, and we see our group members about their daily business. We see Belladonna weaving a rug outside her small home. It has a intricate pattern of repeating geometric shapes on it. Elias is hammering away at a horseshoe for one of the local farmers' steeds, doing his usual menial repair work. Larkin, the resident healer, is stood outside his hut trying to explain to a resident why he stuck 5 leeches to the belly of his son. Who knows why? But I don't even think Larkin does. And we see a traveller walking down the main road of the village. Basira, you arrived the previous day from across the channel, working your way through from France on your journeys around the land looking for answers, kind of rest, and a new place to call home, as it were, following the attack that happened in your village when you were younger. Sarah, as you're kind of walking around, you look around the village and you see it's a quaint little community. You peruse the local merchants and idle around before kind of deciding your next steps, as this is only a stopgap in your travels. But as everyone is going about their business and doing their usual everyday goings on, after a short time you hear a cry, a shout from a male voice coming from one of the huts, one of the small homes, just a short throw away. Upon this loud cry calling out in the village, the majority of people rush over and to try and see what the commotion is, and kind of working as a crowd going over. You're all intrigued by this noise. It's not every day you hear someone crying out sounds like in pain. and you kind of make your way over and pop your head over and see what's going on. And you can see that there is a fisherman, and he is cradling his young son in his arms. His son looks about 9 or 10. And he appears to be injured. And this fisherman's crying out for help. And one of the other villagers kind of, goes, "What's wrong? What's happened? What's going on?" The fisherman's shouting, and he's like, "My son has been attacked. Someone's hurt him. Someone's hurt my son. Please, someone help me. Where's Larkin? Where's the healer? I need help."
I'm here. I'm here to help.
Please, come tend to my child. And he kind of shouts you over, and as you get closer, he kind of grabs you by the shoulder and drags you in. And what you see is his son's like in his arms, and he's like just kind of cowering and twitching a little bit. And obviously at this point, a bit more of a crowd is kind of brewing, and you can see the young boy his torso's covered in blood, and he appears to have several injuries. So, would you like to kind of investigate?
Absolutely. I would love to check and see where his wounds are and see if I can address the wounds.
So can you please, first roll of the night, can you please roll me a first aid?
Okay.
And that's a D100, and you have to roll less than the percentage of the skill.
Okay, gotcha. All right, rolling now. That is a 5.
5, that's a pretty good roll.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so looking at this child and his injuries, you kind of start from the head and work your way down. He has a large bite mark on his shoulder.
Okay.
And he has what appears to be a set of kind of lacerations across his stomach. And looking, kind of cleaning some of the blood away and looking at them, first thing you notice is they appear to be infected. The lacerations on his stomach. And asking the father, when did this happen? Is like about an hour ago. Firstly.
Could it be infected so quickly?
You're the healer. So just help him.
I'm asking the father, of course. Yeah, of course.
Just help him. Just help my son.
Okay, take him to my hut.
Okay. And he kind of picks him up and starts carrying him through the crowd. Belladonna, as you're kind of stood going, kind of gawking around and seeing what's going on, you see this fisherman carrying his son past you, towards Larkin's hut. And as Larkin's wiped away a lot of this kind of blood splatter on the child, you can see the cuts on his stomach. And you look at him, and then you get a little flash in your mind. You're like, "Oh, that's familiar." And he kind of pushes past you at that point.
Do I know why that's immediately familiar? Am I missing something?
Roll me an arts and crafts check.
I thought that might be why. Okay, cool. That's a 9.
A 9, wow. Starting with some good rolls. You see this.
Get them out of the way now.
Get them out of the way. You see the cuts on this child's stomach as his father rushes in past you. And you're like, "Ooh, that's an interesting shape." And you kind of go, "I've seen that before." And you turn around and you look at the tapestry you're currently weaving just outside your hut, and it's like, that's the same pattern.
I'm going to gimp along, following the father and child, trying to not be super conspicuous about how somewhat frantically I am following after people. And then she just kind of backs away a little bit because she realizes she's about to be like, "Hey, look, it matches my tapestry." So then she's just gonna kind of follow and not ask them the questions she was thinking about asking them.
Fair enough. So Larkin, you kind of follow suit as the father brings his son over to your hut and lays him kind of outside. Elias and Basira, you guys are kind of in the crowd, kind of watching this going on. As it's been a quiet day in the village, so this is a bit of entertainment for you, Elias. And Basira, being new to this village, you're kind of like, ooh, what the hell's going on? So this piques your interest, as it were. Larkin, when you get to your hut and he lies the child down, you're like, well, we need to address this pretty quickly. So, thinking back to what your mentor taught you about dealing with this sort of injury, infections, kind of, in modern medicine, if you had an infection, you treat it with antibiotics, and you may gain a fever and stuff, and they try to say, rest up, keep warm. And keep warm is something that was going on back then. So I can think, keep warm, fever, don't want him to get a fever, he's got an infection. We'll burn it. Easy medicinal answer in the Dark Ages, we'll burn it.
All right.
So...
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So Larkin, using your using your medical knowledge, you're like, right, we need to burn the infection. So what's the best way to do that? What's the best way to burn an infected cut? Well, you can sear it, you can brand it. Just so handy that you've got a blacksmith who's got a forge and might have something sharp and hot that could assist.
Okay. Well, set him down. So I motion to have the father set the son down, like just right inside my hut. It's not very big, but and then I say I will be right back, and then I will run to the blacksmith.
Elias is in the crowd, yeah.
Oh, is he? Okay.
As you run out the door, you kind of bump into Belladonna because she's eerily, creepily close, staring at what's been going on.
Yes, Larkin.
I need your assistance to help this boy. We need to immediately just get rid of the infection, and only you can help me do it. We need something very, very, very hot. Do you have a piece of iron that you can bring over, red hot?
One moment. And Elias kind of jogs on over. He's a fairly large human being, broad shoulders, but he kind of comes over, grabs a piece that was actually sitting in the forge, that was later to be bent into the shape of a horseshoe and be refined that way, but as it was in the forge at the time, pulls that out and does a quick jaunt back over, hands it to Larkin.
No. You're holding this. Come in.
I am
okay.
Not much of a healer, Larkin.
Do you happen to have windows on your hut?
We use Max. I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke.
I think that you could probably see through some patches here and there.
Okay,
I think it's just kind of a doorway, like an open doorway. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gawking.
Oh, absolutely.
And keep looking back at my
Does Basira see Belladonna just
Yeah, so I'm looking at you, looking at them. Yeah.
This oddly tall person just keeps staring at this.
Yeah. No, this is a new cultural experience for me, so I'm just kind of like, okay.
So
right then,
I'll grab the blacksmith's hands that are on the rod and kind of guide him in because of his hesitancy. Come in. We have to do this now. So I'm guiding his hands and pushing it towards the sun. Is there any clothing in the way or anything?
No, the young boy, he's got he did have a tunic on, but that's kind of been split open, so you can see the cuts on the stomach and the bite mark on the shoulder.
Okay. So before it starts cooling down, I'd like to press the iron just quickly but firmly on each of the wounds.
Okay. Be known, I do not support this.
I need your iron.
All right, Danny, what
He
you need
needs your iron.
Elias, can you make me
Ooh,
a
buddy.
dexterity check?
I can. Use these
As
all.
this is a bit of a new situation for you, being involved in this, and your hands might be a little bit shaky at the concept of potentially piercing a young boy through the stomach with a hot piece of metal.
Oof, 84, which is against 60 there.
Okay.
Hey, man.
So, those stood outside the hut. You watch as Elias kind of comes in with this long, orange glowing spike, with Larkin kind of guiding him in. And you see them enter the hut, and then a couple seconds pass, and then you just hear this young, high-pitched scream of agony. As Elias and Larkin accidentally kind of, rather than rest it on top of one of these cuts to kind of burn the infected area, just kind of prod him slightly into him with it. Kind of like where you've got this cut line that's got like almost this like blistered, infected area around the edge. They just kind of, rather than just rest it on top to burn it, they just pierce through the blister.
Jesus Christ, Larkin, I told you.
Get out, get out, get out.
Belladonna is like aghast at you specifically as you come out in shame. Like,
So,
What are you eyeing at?
I think I would probably ask, like, was this a mercy killing? Like, what just actually happened?
I mean, the child's still alive.
yes.
Oh, God.
So once the blacksmith is kind of shoot out a little bit, I would love to just go to like a little stash of like herbs that I may have that I know that I feel would help heal. This is not a leech situation. That much I know.
Yes. So you kind of go to one of the little corners in your hut where you've got a mixture of different herbs and mushrooms and stuff, and you grab like a rudimentary pestle and mortar and start throwing stuff in and smashing it up and that, and you like look in the bowl and you're like oh, it needs to be wet, and you just kind of like spit in the bowl and mush it all up and that, and you get it into like some sort of weird paste.
Yes.
creeping closer to the point where Belladonna is like, from the side there are little like Belladonna eyes peeking into the hut. Do you need thread?
Yes, thread. Yes.
And Belladonna's just gonna briskly run back. As she's running back to her little shop, she is stopping and looking at the tapestry one more time, kind of like, and then going back inside, grabbing a spool of thread and a needle and coming back.
Nice. So Belladonna, when you get back, you see that Larkin's got this weird green kind of paste, and he's rubbing it on the bite mark on the young boy's shoulder. As that still looks like a fresh wound, unlike the situation with the stomach. So Larkin, you're rubbing that into the shoulder, trying to make sure that doesn't get infected. Trying to remember your mentor's recipes for healing herbs. And you'll kind of mush that in, and then you're like, right, stomach. Which he's now got like, the cuts do look infected. You see that they are like blistered and going a little bit green. But then there's like a nice fresh blood trail from where he's been stabbed. And the small boy's now unconscious at this point as well because of the pain. But yes, Belladonna arrives with needle and thread.
Just like out and just like trying to not look at anymore because of the weird description. It doesn't sound. It's sounding like it's looking worse faster. So Belladonna is kind of like sees it and is just like.
Larkin, have you ever seen something move so quickly? The infection, I mean, or whatever it is we are looking at.
I'm not sure that I have. This is a new one.
Also, I just snuck back in. I'll leave you be.
Yes, it seems like you've done enough.
Mind you, Belladonna, the child's not dead.
Not dead yet.
Oh, my word. I'll be outside. And, is there a keeper?
Yes.
So Elias did gather around with the rest of the crowd at the origin of the cry. How far away is that from Larkin's hut?
It is probably 20, 30 paces away.
Oh, okay.
It's small village. It's only literally on the other side of the road from Larkin's hut.
Would Elias be able to maybe just return to that point of origin and just take a look around?
Yeah.
Great.
You can do that. So, I'll say you head over there, and having a nosy around, you can make me a spot hidden roll. Whilst you're doing that, Larkin, you're now at this boy's side with a needle and thread. His father, still like at the child's head, just kind of sobbing uncontrollably, and every now and then like murmuring, "Don't die, please, son, don't die." Still kind of in shock at the fact that you brought someone in and then stabbed him with a hot poker. But he's hanging in there. And you start trying to see if you can stitch up these wounds in a hope of closing them and then somehow treating the infection afterwards. So you start to kind of stitch this child up with Belladonna kind of nosying and Basira just kind of, I imagine you're just kind of stood in the street going, what the fuck is going on?
I'm debating on like asking someone like, are you okay? But I don't know. I might ask maybe Lark. Well, no, because you're busy. I might follow Elias. Like, I saw you go in. Now you're coming out, and there's still screaming. I have questions. I'm curious. So I'll see if I can help.
Yeah, so you can kind of, you see Elias come out of the hut after going in, stabbing someone, walking out, then going back in, and then coming out again.
Whoa. That's performing medicine, all right? That's
Same thing. It's Dark Ages. And you see Elias kind of, with purpose now, after he leaves the hut, going over to where the child was originally brought from. So you can 100% kind of follow him and see what he's doing. What did Elias roll on his spot hidden?
as a 40 versus 50.
40 versus 50, smashing. So going into the hut, it is, and having a quick look around, it is literally just a small home. It is a fisherman's hut, so you do see there's a lot of netting hanging around, and like crates that would be used for trying to catch fish, like kind of like the lobster pot kind of crab crates and stuff like that.
Right.
You see a couple of straw beds. You see a large pool of blood on the floor, which is where the child and father was originally before they came out. But you also do see that there is blood that has trailed kind of in and out the doorway. And as it kind of leads out the doorway, it leads out of the village. But looking around inside the house, you don't see anything peculiar. You don't see anything out of place in this sort of setting. Just looks like a small family home, as it were.
In that case, following this bit of a blood trail, I imagine just right outside the door. Basira, are you making yourself relatively known? Are you sneaking around?
Oh no, I'm not sneaking. I'm gonna knock after maybe calling out to you. Just, sir, what's happened?
Traveler, are you involved with this in any form?
I am not. I have only been in your town for a day, and from what I've heard, it sounds like maybe I can help. I'd like to do something. You've been hospitable so far, your people.
Clearly this boy, was harmed by something rather viciously, and for something like that to happen around here, around this time, it doesn't make sense, but for it to happen an hour before...
I assure you I had nothing to do with it.
No. Well, if you don't mind accompanying me, we may as well see if there's anything to possibly follow, something to give us answers while they hopefully tend to the child.
Of course.
So, Keeper, is there you did say there was a trail. Is the only obvious one the one towards Larkin's home?
No, there is there isn't a trail towards Larkin's hut because he was being carried by his father, so he kind of absorbed any still oozing blood. The trail leads out of the hut, kind of round the side, and then off away from the village.
In that case, and what time of day would you say it is?
It is roughly about midday, so the sun appears to be at its highest currently.
Thank you. In that case, come along then, new friend, and see how far we can follow this trail here. This second, or I guess the only trail.
Yeah.
Is there anything with the blood? Any other materials or?
Looking, just to kind of cursory glance now that you're aware of where this trail is, you see that there are footprints within the blood which appear to be of child size, and then there are two more sets of footprints on either side. So three sets of footprints in total.
Traveler, I've seem to have forgot to ask your name. I am Elias. I am the Ferrier around these parts.
Well met. My name is Basira.
Right, Basira. Now, I'm not certain how much you've witnessed. Do you recall any form of, well, aside from the boy's father, did you see anyone else involved?
I did not. The crowd had already gathered by the time the boy was in pain, and then when you arrived with the other healer. I'm not familiar. What was the name of the healer?
Larkin. He is, well, our local healer, as you can imagine. Keeper, so are these footprints, you said they're about, I guess, adult size? They're larger footprints?
No. They appear to be the same size as the central set, the child set, so they appear to be of similar size.
Headed the same direction?
Yeah. So, and the footprints were heading to the hut, not from the hut.
Right. Great. So, I would like to track them, I guess. I would suppose if they go outside the village, just not passing the line of whatever there might be, fence or anything like that.
Yeah, so you follow them and they head out of the village towards the coastline, and then they veer off which way? South, kind of towards. Looking from the village to the coast, they veer to the right. But it's further south along the coast, and continue on.
Well, I suppose we'll get more information from the boy's father. Whatever happens outside of this village, who's to say? And, unless... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if it would be of any assistance, but since I am fairly well traveled, maybe while you speak with your people, I could follow the trail down along the coast. My family also were fishermen, and we're very familiar with the ocean. Maybe there's something from its depths that I might recognize.
Aye, well, whatever hurt the boy the way it did, I don't exactly intend to encounter with small numbers. And Elias will go ahead and, if there's no objection, take off back to Larkin's hut.
Yeah.
Great.
No problem. So, Elias, on your return to Larkin's hut, Larkin, you've managed to kind of stitch up this child's stomach to a point you think good enough. And you get some more of your kind of herbal mixture, and you kind of rub it across the cuts that you've just stitched up. and then you get some gauze, some kind of like muslin, and wrap the child up and go, think he'll be alright.
He'll be fine, but just in case, take these leeches. And I will place 3 leeches on the exposed parts, like maybe like a shoulder, kind of near-ish, where that maybe like the poultice isn't on the wound, and just kind of put them around. This will help with the infection, I think. Yes, it'll be great. It'll be great. He's a strong boy. He'll live. Now
He's
he
gotta
needs
be
to get
stronger now,
home.
that's for sure. I'm sorry.
He needs to go back home. You need to keep him warm. And if anything else happens, come find me.
And the father just kind of like picks his son up, and he's just like, his eyes have kind of glazed over now, and he's just like, just kind of in silence picks his son up and walks back to his home. Kind of lays his boy down on the bed, one of the straw beds, and just kind of sits down by his side, quietly.
Belladonna,
Larkin,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Weren't you here already? You left.
Aye, and now we have returned.
Why? Look at that over there. And she goes into the hut quickly.
Ah! Okay, what is it now?
You say that, but did you perhaps maybe recognize the kind of, were those bite? What?
Yes, super. It's weird. It's new. I don't know. Haven't seen it before.
So not like a shark or no, okay. Come follow me. If anybody in this village would believe me, it might be you. Follow me. She just gives them out.
Okay.
Larkin, where are you going?
Oh, look at that
matters
over
to
there.
attend to. I have another. I don't know. I'm following her. It's all good. It's all good.
Basira meets Belladonna. If there's any
Hello.
concerning actions being taken, well, it's probably because of something she's done.
That's-
Belladonna, Larkin, this is our new friend Basira. She is going to be assisting us because it is clear none of us really understand what is going on, I imagine, unless... Did you find anything else out, Larkin?
Quick infection. If he just got bit an hour ago, that's not normal. I haven't seen that before. Weird.
Large foot tapping in the background.
We gotta go.
Follow if you must, Ferrier, and just like turns, like cuts herself off and just starts walking back. And like as she gets closer to like her little home, the tapestry is outside, and she just stops and like points at the tapestry.
It's
Look
fine,
familiar.
fine work, Belladonna. Fine
Yeah,
work.
I'd be like, oh, nice.
No, look at the pattern and the shape. Does that not really doesn't look even remotely? I'm not that.
Keeper, do we see the same thing?
After a couple
How
moments,
bananas am I looking right now? That's why I was only getting Larkin.
after a couple moments, kind of staring at this tapestry, going,
I can tell none of you have an eye for art, okay? But look.
you kind of all start to focus in on the strange geometric pattern that Belladonna has been weaving around the edge of this tapestry, and after a few moments and you kind of turn your head, you notice that focusing on little sections of it, the intricate shapes match what you saw on the child's stomach, the way that it was lacerated. It appeared to be the same shape.
Is there any role, Keeper, that might help Elias possibly reflect on, see if he recognizes the type of injury, just from experience?
You could, in regards to injury, you could either make a first aid or a medicine. If you want to see if you can recognize the patterning of it, I would say make an occult roll.
Let's go with first aid. That's going to be our best bet here. Ooh, 76. That's a no-go. His first is 50.
Nope. Someone slashed him up.
Got it.
I know this doesn't exactly fill in any questions that we all obviously have, but my main concern was that I noticed similarity and felt inclined to get a better look at the child's injuries.
When did you have time to do this, Belladonna?
Well, this is the one I've been working on for the last couple of days, but I just kind of... I've been staring out the window more than anything and just kind of zoning out and not really paying attention. When you get that good, you can do that.
Right.
I would
What's
like
his
to
concern?
examine Belladonna's mouth, just to make sure.
How tall are you?
Average. What's average in the Dark Ages? Would that be like a 5 foot?
Just, yeah,
Somewhere
about...
between like
7.
5'2" and like 7'2", yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's say 5'6". That's fine. So I'm like,
As you're trying, like she's looking up, trying to make it more. What's it?
okay.
I
I
didn't
don't
bite the
see.
child.
Had to check. This doesn't make sense. If you didn't bite the child.
I mean, no,
Basira,
people-
maybe we all are just going a bit stir crazy, whether or not that's a saying around this time. Are you connecting any dots here?
I'm curious, has Belladonna's other work shown any other coincidence or anything like this? Are these types of patterns common for your people in this area? It's unfamiliar to me.
Belladonna, I think you've gone mute.
it's doing weird things. Whatever, we're fine.
You're good.
She kind of is like slowly backing back inside and like dips into her house. And then comes back out with like 3 tapestries. Would you mind just coming to the... I don't want people to think I'm crazier than they already think I am, apparently.
No, you can only think so much.
We'll go check it out. See?
And she just lays out a few that have similar odd patterns that just kind of happened as she zoned out. She doesn't see any correlation necessarily, but she is now curious as to whether or not anybody else notices anything that may have happened in the last little bit that these have appeared. So she just kind of lays them out.
So...
Do I see any pattern?
Yeah, so looking at the collection of tapestries that Belladonna has laid out, at first glance they just look like a simple kind of either like a weaved rug or just like a wall hanging. They look pretty average in quality. Nothing spectacular. The design usually just appears to be some sort of repeated pattern. Again, at first glance, nothing kind of speaks out to you or jumps out at you. But kind of the longer you look at them, you suddenly, the pattern seems to change ever so slightly. Like those, best way to describe it is when you look at those pictures where it's like the longer you stare at it, it starts to move. They kind of have that effect on you, which isn't normal.
So,
Do you happen to... I don't get out much, but have any of you maybe... Do any of these... Do anything look familiar? Maybe?
Seems to play a trick on the eyes, but the connection to the boy, I'm not certain yet.
Keeper, I zoned out there for a second. Were any of them relating in the sort of a violent pattern like we saw with the central one? Did you mention that?
No, none of them share the same patterning as the most recent tapestry and the markings on the boy. These just are all kind of weird, geometric, weird things.
Right. Thank you.
Larkin, have you had any odd cases more recently apart from the little boy?
Have I?
Not that you can think of, no. Just the odd kind of stomach bugs, fevers.
Nothing leeches can't cure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
the odd fever dream, that's you've been told of, but again, usually leeches, mushrooms, the odd little herb mush. That usually is your standard go-to kind of remedy.
No, nothing like we saw today. I can say that with full confidence. Totally normal. The usual stomach bugs, and what's good for that? Vomiting. Everybody knows that. So,
Naturally, yes.
Yeah. So,
Bloodletting.
no, bloodletting. Absolutely. Put a leech on it.
Yeah.
Every time. Send them home with a leech. They'll be
Stab them
great.
with a hot iron? That's another method I hear works really well.
Right.
You do what you have to do.
Anyway, it's probably just a coincidence, but it struck me as odd, and since you'd all taken note of the child, I thought maybe... Did anybody ask the father what happened?
Right. Well, Basira and I found the tracks that led outside of the village. Where to exactly, we're not certain. Lest we say it's rather quite intimidating, whatever caused injuries like that. So speaking of, if anyone would like to join me, I personally will be speaking to the father if he is up for talking.
I think that must be a good idea. I'll bring a tapestry as a gift for
No.
trying
Which
to come
one?
up with something that makes it not the one that looks like his son's wounds.
To commemorate. I'm sorry.
No, usually I don't show up very often, so I figured something that was gifty would help. No, okay, I'll just follow.
It'll be fine. All
Yes, I
right.
stabbed your son with a hot poker. How are you doing?
That's enough, Belladonna. Okay, where are we headed? Oh, also, Keeper, do we know the name of the father, the family?
So the father is called Harold.
Of that name.
Harold, official name.
Yes, and his son is called William.
Thank you. If there are no objections, then Elias will approach with a solid knock. Well, it's a rather soft knock on the door at this point.
Yeah, so are you all going as a group now? This house? Okay.
Yes.
So as you approach Harold's hut and Elias knocks on the door, you all hear the sound of kind of scurrying on the side of the hut on the outside, and you see kind of two young boys kind of rush off away as you guys have approached and knocked on the door.
Excuse you.
Yes, so... Oh, Belladonna's got it, yeah.
Excuse you. Stop it right there. Now, do they stop or they keep running?
They keep running.
Elias, with the recognition of the footprints from before, he's going to take off. Not a full sprint. He's not like full on Naruto running at him, but he, kind of like a saunter, just kind of seeing where they go. Yeah.
Belladonna will briskly walk after them as best she can.
Basira, Larkin, do you mind speaking to the father?
Yeah, that's this. You guys have that under control. The running
Fantastic.
thing. We'll
Thank
do the
you.
talking thing.
Yes.
Bellet.
So yeah, I guess Larkin and I will try to speak to the father. Has Harold answered the door? Is he...
Yeah, he's kind of opened, like he's in a very somber way. His head down, clearly recently crying, and still sniffly. He opens the door and he's like, "Hello."
Since Larkin was working with him, I'll let Larkin speak first.
How is William holding up?
Same as he was 2 minutes ago. In severe pain.
Oh.
Would
Is
you
he
like to
awake?
check on him?
Yes, I would love to check on him.
Come in. He steps to the side as you guys can come into the hut.
Do you know what happened when he came to you? Where was he?
I don't know. He was out playing with his friends. The two, the twins. They were, I don't know. They were playing down the coast somewhere. I don't know. They came back, kind of carried him in. He collapsed in my arms, and then, well, everyone showed up after that. That's all I remember.
And the boys didn't say anything.
I didn't have time to ask, if I'm being honest. I saw my son. I cried out, and then, well, everyone showed up.
From there.
I don't know where the boys have gone. I presume they're knocking about somewhere.
Yeah. They seem scared.
Well, I mean, I don't know what happened. My hope is William wakes up and he will explain to me what happened, but I don't know. Someone needs to speak to them, though.
Speaking of.
Yep.
So again, following him, what are we seeing, Keeper?
So, as you're kind of jogging after these two young boys, you see what appear to be a set of identical twins, roughly around 9 to 10 years old, wearing simple kind of tunics and pants, and they're just kind of running down the street, making their way through some other houses.
Do we recognize them in this small community as to who
You
they
do.
are?
You do. You recognise there aren't many twins and identical twins knocking about. This is Gerald and Rupert.
Okay.
And they are the sons of a farmer and his wife, Albert and Alyssa.
If
In
you
that
don't
case-
stop now, I'm going to tell your mother and they're going to take all of your toys and everything good in your life away from you forever. I'm very angry. I'm like briskly walking after, like, I swear don't make me chase you down.
They hear you say that, Belladonna, and completely ignore you.
Can
Now
Elias,
she's trying to run, actually. But yeah.
in Elias's most booming and as intimidating as possible voice, just call out. You said Gerald? Gerald, not a G.
Gerald.
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 Yeah, Gerald. Okay. Gerald, Rupert, your father's gonna be much more upset with you if you wait until we speak to him.
And they stop immediately the moment you call out after them. And they kind of stop, look at each other, and then just put their heads down.
Approaching him, I guess the first question will be no. We understand that you're scared, boys, but we need to know what happened. Why did you run?
And they kind of both like look up at each other and kind of in one voice between them they both go, "We didn't want to get in trouble."
You're
Well,
not in trouble.
You won't be. How about this? Everybody thinks I'm weird, right?
And they just both nod.
Yes. If you help give us some information, we'll help make sure you don't get in trouble, unless this was your fault. Did you hurt your friend? Okay.
And you're not
Then you
in
have
trouble.
nothing to be.
Precisely. Now,
Now let's step off to the side a little bit so nobody sees anything. Then you're going to tell us what happened. Yes?
And they kind of both look at each other, look at Elias, and kind of nod.
He'd probably, yeah, so Elias will lower himself down on a knee there, and now, we understand you're friends with William, but if you are friends, he needs your help. Start from the beginning. What were you doing on the coast?
They kind of look around, look at each other, and then you just get kind of a torrent of nonsense coming out of their mouths as they both start trying to talk over each other, telling the same story.
One at a time. Rupert, you first.
And they kind of look, and they look at each other, and they kind of take a breath. And Rupert goes, there's a shipwreck down the coast. Not many people know about it, but we know. We thought we'd go and have a look. There might be treasure. Could be treasure there, so we thought we'd go and get some treasure.
A couple of treasure hunters, are we?
Off the coast or just on the beach?
Well, you go down the coastline, and then there's like just like a couple of miles, and then there's a bit of beach, and then there's a wreck there.
Did someone hurt you? An outsider, a traveler?
I'm okay.
William. Did someone hurt William?
Oh yeah. Well, we were looking in the boat, and we went. It's a big one. It's a big ship. Don't know why no one's seen it. And we went inside, and something, I don't know. There was a shadow, and then William screamed, and we just started running, and then we got out, and we ran up the coast, and William fell over, so we picked him up, and then we all kind of came back, and then we got to William's house and went in, and his dad was there, and his dad shouted, so we kind of went, see ya, and we ran away.
So you didn't see anything?
It was dark inside.
Nah.
We was inside.
You did all you could. No one blames you for being scared. Now, is there anything else? What?
Nothing?
What did you say about
Absolutely nothing. So, if you don't have any other information, do us a favor. Stay away from the wreckage. Okay?
Yes, Wonky Donna. I mean, yes, Belladonna.
I wouldn't want what happened to William to happen to you. As she says it in like a foreboding voice.
Yeah, Rupert's eyes go a little bit wide when you say that. And considering you're, in a sense, threatening a 9-year-old child, he pees a little bit.
Yeah.
You see the front of his pants darken.
Right, well, is there anything else, Belladonna?
Nope, that was it.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, boys, clean yourselves up. And as she mentioned, do not return. And if there's anything else, find one of us. The sooner we fix this, the sooner we can keep people from getting hurt.
They just kind of nod and put their heads down.
And Elias will be kind of retreating back from where we came. And Gerald, remind your father that his order will be finished by tomorrow.
Yes.
All
Sorry.
right. And returning back to the hut.
Mhm. I didn't mean to make the child pee, but I get really sick of those little buggers making names with me.
Well, yeah. Belladonna did as Belladonna does. Shall we?
Follow you guys back. I'd say on the way back to the hut, I would probably ask, like, who would keep track of like port, like the ships coming in and out, like who in the town would have any of that type of information. Maybe there was like an expected boat coming in.
With it being just a small fishing village, there isn't exactly like a harbour master or anything like that. It's not that big of a location. And looking at the harbour, or having sailed into the harbour yourself, you know that the sort of boats that come into this harbour are either going to be small fishing vessels or very small passenger boats. So the boat you came over on wasn't like a galleon ship or anything like that. It was only a small kind of, almost like a ferry type boat, because you only crossed the channel, so it's only a couple miles of water you crossed, not a vast ocean. So large boats themselves wouldn't come to this port. Nothing of the size that these children were stating was further up the coast. Nothing of that sort of level.
And then when I sailed in, I didn't see the shipwreck, or had it happened already?
You hadn't spotted it on your journey, but the coastline isn't. It's not a straight coastline. It is kind of, it curves and weaves. So depending on where along the coast this potential wreck is, it could have been obscured from view from where you sailed across.
Are we encountering Larkin and Basira on the return to the hut? Are you two still inside?
Yeah, I figured we would follow back, everyone kind of staying together now that we talked to the father and you talked to the boys. So on our trot back, just ask if you found out any information.
Yeah, so unless there's any objections, Belladonna, I believe we just relay the information.
Mm-hmm. It appears that there's a shipwreck down the coast that the children thought they would explore without an adult, and something seemingly attacked the child. The other children did not see what it was and ran because they said it was dark in the ship. Is this something any of you feel so inclined to investigate?
That may be our only option if we want answers for this family.
It may help in determining how we can treat the boy.
This is true.
So I would be in favor.
And frankly, I am understandably curious as to the nature of circumstance, I suppose, with my oddity of the tapestry, I suppose. But I will want to go back to my house and grab my armor and shield and mace in case whatever attacked William beats
Belladonna, what are you doing with a mace?
Absolutely nothing. Girl can't be too careful.
I think I would just take like a side step.
The world is a dark place. Lady's got to defend herself. She goes.
Belladonna does have a point. I believe, well, we all saw the lacerations, we all saw the injury. Protecting ourselves would be the best bet if there's no one else that might have any information in the village. And does Elias, can he think of anything, Keeper? Of anyone who... I'm not sure there's any sort of government in the small community.
No, it is literally kind of a self-feeding community, as it were. It's just, everyone lives there, has a job. They're either a fisherman, a farmer, or they have some sort of trade, and everyone kind of does their own thing and utilises each other for what's needed. There's never really been a need for any sort of government or military presence or any sort of authority. It's just kind of been, an equal trade situation in this village.
Understood. Thank you. In that case, I will be right back unless there's anything else.
I think the boy will live for now.
It's good.
Legions, yes.
He seems stable.
Has the leeches.
All faith in you, Larkin. Elias would like to return and grab just a quick sort of like knapsack bag with a bit of torch and whatever might be common in terms of lighting torches in this era.
a bit of flint.
Right, and then just a quick bandage and making sure he has a smithy hammer and he's returning back to where we were.
Belladonna will don her quilted leather armor, her shield and mace, and we'll grab just kind of a spool, like a small bolt of silk, and have that in a bag across her body, just so that we have some silk just in case we need to do any kind of closure. Hashtag Wrath of Danny. And we will, and she will return to the everybody, looking battle ready, a little ridiculous.
Please tell me that it comes with that leather helmet, the one that comes across the nose, just ready for war.
I feel like knowing her, because she's got two things going for her, she wouldn't want to cover her face, so she's just got
Nice.
Yeah, just she looks, since she is a fairly towering person, she probably looks a little intimidating and odd for the time, coming out as a female with, she's a little, she's an oddball. It's fine.
With a limp.
Basira, I trust as a traveler you have everything you need.
I have... No, I'll say I have a bag at an inn or somewhere, so I'll go get the rest of my artillery. So I'll get my weapons.
Aye.
No problem. And then there's Larkin.
Yeah, Larkin returns to his hut to grab his go bag, as it were. He tosses in some herbs, whatever constitutes a jar with a couple leeches in it. He wipes some of the blood off of the leather armor that he was already wearing, because he doesn't have a whole lot in this hut here. Make sure he has his handy knife. After packing a few, medicine kit pieces, and then I don't know if he would really have a torch he could bring along.
He would probably have some sort of small torch he would have in his hut, so you could pack a torch ready.
Okay, then he kind of grabs the bare necessities and heads on out. He pretty much wears what he has all the time, so he doesn't have a whole lot going for him. So, and then he returns to the meeting spot.
Nice.
No problem. So you all get yourselves prepared and meet back up together. And are you basically going to head to this location that these two boys have indicated is where they were playing? Yeah?
Yes. So,
okay.
Would you like to lead the way, Elias?
I believe we are going as a group. We all can handle ourselves. No need for anyone standing way out front, right? Fantastic.
Yes.
So, as they're walking and making their way, Belladonna is gonna kind of, scoot up next to Basira. Out of curiosity, where are you from? I'm sorry, don't give me that look, Elias. That is not every day that somebody new comes to
You're a lovely person, Belladonna.
kick sand at him.
I just watched this exchange. It's like, all right. So I will tell you the name of my village. I don't have a name. I don't have a name. It's modern day Algiers, so we'll just pretend that that's what it is. And so, yes, my village was unfortunately attacked when I was a young girl, and I have been looking for a new home ever since. So for right now, this lovely village of yours is my home. Are you from this land, Belladonna?
Yes, I am. Born and raised right around here. Sadly. Looks over at Elias.
Yeah. Yeah. Why sadly?
No, I've always wanted to say a little bit more, I think. But life has a funny way. But it's worked out alright. Some of us do a little better than others, but been grounded, so it were. So.
Well, we make quite a team. You have more home than you desire, and I have none at all.
Maybe that can change. Should we talk about hot pokers?
Are you still stuck on that, Belladonna? Last I checked, you were peeping in the window.
Was that a pun? Still stuck on it?
No, that's not in character.
I hope that she sticks. I hope that you find a home here. It's not so bad. It really isn't. It's usually much more quiet than this, and so long as you don't have to see Larkin, that means everything is going well for you.
Please do not ask me to check out any bumps. I've had it today with the bumps.
I have no bumps or boils or buboes.
Ugh, not judging. I can't look at another bump today.
I understand. Your shift has ended.
Can you tell us who all has bumps in the town?
That is not information any of us require.
But it's funny. Especially if bumps match up, Elias.
Good
point.
Proceeding on. So is he still seeing tracks in the? I mean, as he's out of this conversation, are we still tracing those?
Yeah, you pretty much can. As you're walking along the coastline and the beach, and you're kind of meandering through areas of sand and then grass and sand and that, you are seeing the odd little like blood trail here and there from where the two twins brought William back. But again, they literally said it was you just follow the coastline up and then it's there, a couple miles down. So you all continue on, discussing bumps and lumps and mumps along the way.
Is there anything...
All intentionally to make Elias uncomfortable.
I should have never left it. Is there anything, looking out along the coastline, is there anything unnatural? I mean, in terms of, what are we looking at? Just kind of typical same old waves?
Yeah, I mean, as it stands, it is just your average British coastline. Sand, rocks, and a bit of grass. Nothing crazy at the minute. Yeah, you don't see anything out of the ordinary, apart from the little bits of blood splatter from the child as he was brought back. Nothing out of the ordinary. But yeah, you guys kind of continue on, and after a bit of walking, it is a couple miles, you come to a point along the coastline where it becomes less accessible to walk along the coast, as it's more rock than anything, and large boulders, large rock mounds. So you kind of have to come off the coast a bit, move inland, kind of transverse a small hill and over to get back onto the coastline, as it is literally just blocked with rock and kind of more cliff face. But as you do so, it's a little bit of a scramble. It's not the easiest accessible area, but you make your way up the little hill and over, and as you come over and you look down, you see that there is actually a small cove here. It's got its own little beach, but it is more of a closed off cove, and believe it or not, you see a ship.
Does
And
it look old? Like it's been there for a long time, or is it like fresh or?
from the distance you are from it, you're not 100% sure. It appears to be a galleon, so it appears to be a large ship. Basira, you would recognise it, being someone who's been on many ships. It appears to be a warship. It is an implement of naval warfare, and you don't at this distance you don't see any markings or anything like that, so you can't kind of ascertain where it's come from. But you do see it, and it is beached on this kind of sandbank in this cove.
So I think I would ask the party, did this village come under attack at all? Are there any known enemies? That's a warship that's crashed.
I don't know what anybody would gain from taking our little village.
I don't have any sunglasses, but seems this cove is all out of hope. Okay, I'm sorry.
I thought you were gonna say it's really shady, and I'm like, yeah, it is pretty shady.
I'd like to apologize.
Could it have washed up by accident?
I,
It
Not a
doesn't
ship
seem
of
to
that size.
Let's approach quietly.
Very quietly.
can Elias pick up a rock and just throw it at it?
Let's not. As he's throwing it.
Elias,
Great
make
idea.
me a throw check.
Man, love this one. I don't know why, but like my animal brain is just like, it really just likes to
Throw things.
40 versus 55.
Okay.
You put
So you-
points into throwing.
Nice.
So you're all kind of stood at the top of this hill looking down on the cove, and you pick up a rock and you launch it into the air towards this galleon. And, you know, you've got a good arm on you, you're a smithy, you've got some upper body strength, and you throw
Possibly
it.
pulled something. He didn't. Yeah.
So you launch it, and it kind of, you all watch as it flies through the air, and it just makes it to the boat, and you see it hit the side and kind of go clang, clang, and you hear a little bit of an echo from the impact, and then nothing.
Understood.
Just a slight sea breeze in your ear, and the gentle crashing of waves.
In that case, you will follow along with the group.
Quietly. I will emphasize that we are being quiet and stealthy about it. just in case. And
You'll follow
paranoia
suit,
is
yeah.
starting. Paranoia is coming in. That's great. As I get a little bit closer, can we start to see, like, is there a bunch of, like, mildew and stuff growing on the ship, or does the wood break look fresh? Like, is it broken? Is it notably damaged? Like, or is it relatively one whole piece? Like, how's this guy looking? How?
Okay. So you guys make your way down from the hill towards this boat, this ship even, and getting closer. The first thing of note, Basira, is you notice markings on the vessel, which give you an idea of its origin, and this appears to be a Spanish galleon, a Spanish warship, as it were. That's the first thing you notice as you approach. The second thing you notice, moving closer, is that there is a rope ladder hanging off the side of the main deck down to the shore. And the third thing you all notice, Belladonna specifically, as this was something you asked, is you don't see any damage to the boat. It just appears to have kind of docked on the sand. It's just beached there. So you see no damage, but you do see that there is a lot of overgrowth on the side of the wood. There is like moss growing on it. You do see that there are a lot of like barnacles along the underside of the hull. It appears to be very old, and with the amount of overgrowth on there, it appears that it's not a new ship. It's an old ship, but it is beached on this cove without any from where you are. You don't see any visible damage to it. So that's not to say there isn't damage. You just don't see any.
I am not necessarily a well-traveled man, but correct me if I'm wrong. Do ships typically have a crew?
No, they float on their own.
Fantastic.
I think she's right.
Oh boy.
A warship of this size would at least have had 40 head.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recognize the kind of... Do we all recognize, or it's specifically Basira? Do you recognize the origin? Since you're well-traveled?
It's kind of, since there's overgrowth, I just kind of push the moss and gunk away, and I see that it's Spanish. Does the ship have a name?
You
Or
don't
might-
see one anywhere. You don't see a name anywhere written upon it.
And it goes without asking, but the only footprints, if there are any, are the children's.
Make me a track roll.
Got it. It's not looking good. 67 versus 30. Okay, yeah.
At this point, you don't see any tracks anywhere. You don't even see the children's tracks, as it appears the water has kind of swept in and out again at this point.
Does nobody else find it odd that it's just in one piece on a beach?
Especially for a warship, it's very, very peculiar.
I mean, surely it would have received some damage. It looks like it's just been set down.
There aren't even any rocks around. It's very odd.
Perhaps they knew they were headed towards Belladonna and had no way to change course. I jumped
Well, they
ship
knew
as
that they
well.
were going to be subject to Elias's medicine.
Medicine? Hardly. Craftsmanship.
Exactly. Yes. Let's
That is
ask.
what they-
Let's ask Fair William about your craftsmanship.
Oh, good heavens.
It was an emergency.
I like that Elias is catching all of the blame for the medicine. Like Larkin is just like scot-free.
It was his hand and his tool.
Okay, all right. So approaching, what points of access are we looking at here, Keeper? To enter.
Your main point of entry that you can see is the rope ladder that comes over the side from the main deck. Again, the ship looks intact, so you don't see any openings in the side of the ship to gain access. It's mainly the rope ladder leading up.
And since it's like a galleon, are there like any kind of windows like below the main deck at all, depending on how large it is, or is it just solid all the way around?
It's mainly solid. It's when you get
Okay.
close to the top edge, you do see that there are like the square hatches for where cannons would come out, but they all appear to be closed.
Okay, because that was my next thing. Was like, I will start to make my way up and look in one, and if I see things, I want to know. Okay.
Looks
Elias.
to be like a large tube. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Elias, you should go first.
Yes, right. Yes. First. Yep, any objection? Right. And he'll go ahead and proceed to climb this ladder.
Okay. So Elias makes the initial climb and starts making his way up the ladder. is it a case of Elias is going up alone, or are you guys all just following after him, but letting him be the first?
We'll test the rope. I'll look for like ship maintenance type things, and I think I would be able to tell if a rope would be sturdy enough. So before my new
the rope ladder does look okay. It does look
I was about to say, I'm already halfway up, so
Yeah.
we're about to really test this sucker.
I was going to say, that's kind of what Belladonna, she's just waiting to see if it can handle the weight of everybody climbing up it.
Yeah. I give a quick check, and then like, okay, yes, go ahead.
So Elias heads up first. Is it? Are we all following?
I'll follow.
Yep.
I'll follow as well.
Okay. So you all.
Belladonna will go last.
Okay.
Will go last.
Okay. So you all make your way up the rope ladder to board this ship. Elias, you're first. You kind of make your way up. It's a big ship. It's a galleon, so it's not the quickest of climbs. But you get up there and you kind of pull yourself up and onto the deck. A little bit winded because it's been a while since you've climbed a rope ladder. In fact,
it has.
probably the first time you've climbed a rope ladder, being honest.
Yeah.
But you've done it. You can tick it off the bucket list, as it were. And you get onto the deck and kind of turn around and start helping everyone else up, making sure everyone's safe coming up before kind of starting your investigation. You all are now on board this beached galleon, Spanish warship, and you all kind of, after taking a second, getting up there, because it's, again, Belladonna with a gammy leg, climbing rope ladders isn't ideal. Larkin with no real upper body strength, it's been a chore. Basira, you've not really had any issues. You've just been kind of stuck in between people, so it's been a slow climb for you compared to your usual abilities. But yeah, you all get onto the ship and you all kind of take a cursory look around. And I'm going to need you all to make sanity checks.
Mother.
But before you roll, we're going to have a quick break. So we can all
Fantastic.
replenish and hydrate and get ourselves prepared for these sanity rolls, because I'm sure everything's going to be fine, guys. You've nothing to worry about, to be honest. But
Know the type of drink I need to
so
make.
we're going to go to a break. For those watching, thank you very much for watching so far. Please stay with us till after the break when things will progress, as it were. But as I stated at the beginning, we do have a giveaway. So, as part of our sponsorship with Mithril Armories, we are giving away a set of tin 20s, which I have here. This is their tin D20. You'll get a set of these. They are really cool. They come in what looks like a credit card form, flat packed, and then you pop them out and you fold it all together and you create a really cool hollow D20, and they roll really well. They are really nice. Keep it in your wallet because you never know when you're going to need dice. But yes, so there is a giveaway for those. So the way to enter the giveaway is all you need to do is type in chat Wreckage, which is WRECKAGE. Type that into chat once, just once, that's all you need, and that will enter you into the giveaway, and then we will pick a winner when we come back from the break. So just type Wreckage once. It doesn't have to be capitals or anything like that, just the word, just with the once, and you'll be entered. And then when we come back from break, I will pick a winner, and then we'll get all your shipping details and get them sent off straight to you. So again, thank you for watching. We'll be back in about 10-15 minutes once we're all settled, and we will see you then. So be right back.
my death laugh.
And we are back. Thank you very much for sticking around during the break. Before we get back to the frivolities, the fun times, we will draw the winner for our giveaway for the, put them down, the Tin 20s from Mithril Armory, and the winner is... Can anyone pronounce the name? Tenham. Well done.
Tenham.
Congratulations, Tenham, on winning.
Yes, Tenham.
If you can drop us a whisper on Twitch or jump in our Discord, I'm sure someone will put. Oh, the link is already there. And we will get your shipping information and get everything sent off to you. Congratulations. Well done. And yes, let's get back to things. So,
all right.
Hold on.
no, we're getting back to it.
It's just a ship, guys.
So before we left off, you guys had made your way to this Spanish warship that had appeared to have been stranded onto this beach, in which these children had gone playing in, looking for treasure, and one of them had been attacked by something, and that's what's all led you here together. So there was a rope ladder down the side. You all transversed it and made your way onto the main deck. Getting onto that deck, you all take a second to catch your breath and then turn around and look around. And I've asked you all to make sanity checks. So please make me some sanity rolls.
Come on, man. Okay.
And you need to get less than your sanity to succeed.
Okay, Elias rolled a 98 versus versus 60.
Okay, so Elias has failed.
He did. Yes.
Okay.
Which is fine. I mean, that's cool. Yeah.
What did Belladonna get?
Belladonna got a 17 versus a 70.
Belladonna's okay. Basira?
Lucky a 28 to a 37.
Ooh, very nice. Basira's okay. Larkin?
91 to a 40.
Okay, so Larkin and Elias have failed.
No.
I'm just going to quickly roll something and then I'll explain what's going on.
Belladonna's seen some stuff. She's okay.
Or
Okay,
even think
so
she's seen some
as you all make it onto this main deck, you take that moment and you turn around and decide, you're looking around like what's on this ship, what's going on here, how's it stranded here. Looking around, you don't see very much. It seems to be a very bare main deck, until you kind of tilt your head upwards towards the main masts, and you see that on the main mast, about 10 to 15 feet up, you see a figure. You see what appears to be a human figure strung up across the mast, cut from sternum all the way down to groin, and their torso stretched and splayed open, with all their internal organs missing. They are just kind of hung there on display, as it were, across this main mast, about 10 to 15 feet up in the air. Belladonna and Basira, you look at this and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? That's not good. Not a fan of that. Larkin and Elias, you see this, and in a similar vein, you're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But you guys see a little bit more than Belladonna and Basira see. You see that this person is splayed on display with their torso spread open, but you guys see that their internal organs are still there. You can see their intestines convulsing, digesting. You can see a heart beating. You can see their lungs expanding and collapsing inside the torso. Everything's there. Everything's working. This person appears to still be alive, spread open on this mast. You know, and you can see their eyes looking at the pair of you and darting back and forth with like panic in their eyes. Belladonna and Basira, this corpse that's on display, it's slightly decayed. Appears to have been there a while. There's nothing moving. There's no internal organs. You guys don't see anything like that. It just appears that someone's been gutted and hung up on display, and they've been there a good while now. But Larkin and Elias, this person's still alive, strapped to this mast with their torso ripped open, looking at you guys. You know, you can see the panic in their eyes and the anguish for help and aid.
After making eye contact, Elias just lets out a scream that I will not replicate. And it simply does not know how to proceed. I'm just kind of struck.
This is gonna sound creepy and weird. Does this pattern look familiar to Belladonna in any way, shape, or form?
No.
Okay. Because now she's looking for it and everything. Are you okay? Well, Elias, why are you keep it down?
He's still alive.
No.
I can't look at that.
Like, Belladonna's just kind of like very, very confused and like keeps looking back and forth as much as she doesn't want to look at it.
Larkin's just standing frozen, staring.
Yeah, same. Just looking. I might look for what maybe caused it. Like, does it look like, you know, a knife or a sword? Is it a clean cut, or does it look like pulled?
It looks, from the distance that you can see, it looks somewhat clean with a couple jagged slashes that have caused this. Obviously, Larkin, you're seeing the same as Elias here. But this isn't something you know how to treat in your medical wisdom. But yeah, it looks like the cut is somewhat jagged and then splayed open.
There's now dry heaving over the edge of the ship. You can guess from who. Take it away.
Do we need to go back? If you've not the stomach for...
How old does this wound look? Larkin, I'm not the best judge. Are you able to see how fresh this wound is? Can you tell?
I mean, it looks very aged.
Did you say corpse?
Yes, it's decaying.
That man is alive.
That man is alive. Yes, what Elias said.
He's got no organs and he's decaying.
Mm-hmm.
But he has organs. You can see that. It's right there.
This isn't right. Can we cut him down? Something.
For a burial?
Just to get it out of here. Help him or something.
I think we might just press on. I don't know what we can do for this man.
Is that the only hanging body that Elias is witnessing?
It's all you guys see.
Okay.
currently.
Okay. Just. I can't look at it.
Belladonna will whisper to Basira, I don't know what we're supposed to be doing. I don't understand.
I don't either. I'm not sure if we should press on or maybe we're missing something.
That's a
But
lot.
that looks like a dead body.
Yeah, no, he's very dead.
Keeper, is there in a attempt to at least do something that he feel might be right, is there a clear attachment that is with the rope that is strung around this body? Is there a clear attachment to something deck level?
It appears that the body has been kind of like there's like battens along the back of him that he's pinned to, and then he's been like raised up there. So there is a rope attached to the side of the ship that you could literally cut, and it would lower him down.
Okay. Then could they be untied?
It could be untied, yeah. Around you could either cut it free or undo the knot.
Great. Everyone's already ahead of me, but bear with me. There's something we can do, and in an act of desperation, try and attempt to untie these knots and let this person down.
Make me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, don't like the sound of that, but let's do it. Ooh, 65 versus, can anyone guess before I see it?
What's the base for it?
25, and that's what it is.
So like you kind of rush over in your panic, wanting to help this gentleman who's been strung up, and you're kind of fumbling with the knot and struggling to untie it.
Anyone?
Seeing Elias do this, Larkin goes right over. He's still staring at the body. He wants to. I can help. I can do this.
Okay, I won't make you roll. I'll say between the pair of you, you manage to kind of fumble enough with the knot to loosen it and undo the rope.
And what do we witness?
Do you just kind of undo it and let go, or do you?
No.
Oh no,
Gently.
Yeah.
Just, like,
just to lower him down.
I guess
yeah.
other way,
Okay.
yeah.
So you slowly like lower the body down from the mast, and it, as the bottom batten and the feet touch the ground, it kind of falls onto its back. And because obviously you're at the side and this is in the centre, you guys rush over to the middle. As you do so, the effects of your panic subside, and as you reach this person's mutilated body, you get there and find that it is a somewhat rotting corpse with no internal organs displayed open on display.
Doesn't makes. Larkin saw what I saw.
He was alive.
Maybe it was a trick of the light.
Surely there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a reason you guys saw it. She's probably correct. It's probably some weird refraction from the ocean or something.
Yes.
Let's be cautious.
That's wise. This wasn't an accident. We know that much. So
It's just a body. It's dead.
It's been dead.
Is there anything with that little that kind of coming down off that Elias would like to check among the rafters, the ship rafters, so to speak? What else are we looking at with these masts and whatnot?
So having a bit more of a cursory glance around the ship now and looking at the rafters, you don't see anything of note. You don't see any sails. Like the ship doesn't have sails. It's got the masts and everything for sails, but you don't see any sails up there, or any sails kind of tied up, ready to be released or anything like that. It just appears to be bare masts. So how the ship realistically sailed is unknown. But again, apart from it looking very old and worn, you don't see any damage.
Seems to be no way for it to have gotten here aside from wherever the wind or the waves tells it to go.
Nothing about this ship makes any sense so far.
I hate to say it aloud, but if there are any other fallen members of the crew, maybe that could give us some insight. I hope we don't find them, but this is a very odd one body compared to what we've seen on the outside of the ship. I'm not sure that timing aligns.
Well, I suppose there's more to it than just than just this deck.
So,
Might I
hopefully
ask?
not. Should we press on?
Lie.
With caution. I don't exactly want to be in the place of that unfortunate sort, so.
Agreed.
So looking for a hatch, I imagine? Is that what we're doing?
Is like I was going to say, like Belladonna will kind of make her way slowly around the deck to see if she sees anything fishy. Or like, yeah, just anything odd, and then kind of keeping an eye out for either a hatch or like some kind of stairwell down, essentially.
Yeah, so looking around this main deck, you see that behind the centre mast there is a large hatch with a staircase leading down at the back that would go into the lower decks. The ship does have a section at the back with a set of doors, so what would be Basira would know this is like the captain's quarters is on the main deck at the back of the ship, with the ship's wheel would be above that on the quarter deck. I don't know what it's called. I don't know boats. On the bit above it. But yeah, so there is a room at the back on the main deck. The door is closed, but there is a large hatch that leads down into the belly of the ship, just behind the centre mast where this body was strung up.
Should we check through there first before heading down?
I'd rather not see what the cargo was currently, so if we can help it. Room first?
I would say so if downstairs was where the child was attacked, yes?
They said they were looking for treasure.
Yes, and
right?
they said it was dark, yes.
That's very likely where it was hidden. It would not be in the captain's quarters.
But we might figure out a little bit more about how it got here.
Humor me, I need a bit of a break from whatever trick of the light I just witnessed.
Cue Basira all over again.
So Elias will go ahead, if there's no objections, and head over to the door. And very slowly start to open it from the outside, never entering.
So you pull a handle and try to open the door, and it's locked.
Of course. Well, suppose that solves that mystery. Well, back home, anyone? No? Right.
Does anybody happen to have any skill in opening locks?
Oh, I think to break character, I think I moved those points around because there's no like locksmith lockpicking skill.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying that as a matter of fact.
I mean, I do have a universal key, which is a mace, but...
Okay.
I will say, if you want to attempt to pick the lock, you could use a repair/devise roll to try and devise a way of picking the lock using some sort of small implements.
I guess Belladonna. I was
Or
going
you
to say
could just smash
Belladonna.
it.
Yeah, Belladonna will see him like fiddling with it and come up and just kind of like shove him aside a little bit and start fiddling with it, and reaches into her pocket where she has needles and other things and is going to try to be wonky Donna. So I needed to beat a 60 and I got.
Wait. What'd you get?
I got a 4.
Oh shit.
Nice. So, Belladonna, you pop in some needles into this keyhole and start fiddling around. And after a moment, you're like, oh, that one's got stuck a bit. Oh no, it's bent in the lock. And then you kind of twist it and you hear a click. You pull your needles out and one has a nice little bend in it now. And you have just devised probably the first lock-picking tools in this region. And you managed to unlock the door.
Where did you learn to do that, Belladonna?
It's just natural. It's just no, I just spend a lot of time alone studying.
Right. As they say, weavers first.
Before trying to open the door, she just kind of...
Yeah. Right, yes. Hopefully they're not busy.
Odd question. I have an odd question. Is there any weird smell, Keeper? Or anything else that we can perceive outside of vision?
Interesting. Make me...
A smell check.
Yeah. It's a hint of bergamot.
Make me a natural world check.
Alright, 63 to a 40.
What is it you're doing, Basira?
I was curious to see if there was anything else that we could perceive beyond this, because clearly our eyes may not be as trusted as they normally would be, so I don't smell anything strange.
With that cue, is Elias able to double up on that check, Keeper?
Say again?
Is Elias able to double up, as in also check
Yes,
for that?
you can also roll a natural world check. And while you do that, just quickly, just want to say thank to Lord Gosumba. Thank you very much for the raid.
Hey!
So all you new viewers, thank you for joining us for Cthulhu Dark Ages. Our group are investigating a Spanish warship that appears to have landed on the coast and a child has been attacked. We don't know why. Who knows? We'll see. But thank you very much for joining us.
Not
Yes.
sus at all. It's fine. We're fine.
It's just a normal beached warship, that's all it is.
It's
With the
fine.
body
So-
on it.
It's fine.
So it is a 41 versus 45, Keeper.
Okay, so
Just barely, yeah.
utilising your skills of the natural world and listening and smelling. So you do smell. It seems a bit fishy around here.
Okay.
But you are on the coast, so it's it's not uncommon to have a fishy, saltwatery smell.
Right.
But it is a little bit more pungent than you would normally expect on the coast. But at the same time, you can smell rot and decay in the air as well. Obviously, there is a corpse behind you that you've pulled down from the rafters with its torso splayed open on display. So there is that you've got to deal with.
I think
Belladonna
we're doing
will
all right.
slowly turn the doorknob
Yeah.
or pull whatever.
You push
And-
the door open.
I don't push it open.
Oh.
I tease it open. Peeking.
Peeking. Okay. So you tease it open that little bit and peek through the crack of the door, and looking in, it's very dark.
I had nightmares already of like what I could have seen in that. So then she will begin to step back,
Mm-hmm.
backing past Elias, and then kick it open, and then jump back. With Elias between her and the door.
Okay.
What the hell?
So you kick the door open, which lets in the remaining sunlight, as we are now in the late afternoon. Just putting that out there for you guys to know. And we are past summer, moving into fall. So it's not the brightest of long days or anything. But you let in the sunlight into the room at the back of this ship. And inside, you see what appears to be a captain's quarters. You see a desk with some paperwork on and a large chair. You see a very high quality bed in the corner, a dresser and stuff, a chest on the floor, and nothing else. You don't see any bodies. You don't see anyone kind of stood there like that or anything like that. It appears to be an empty room.
I think I would look for like a book or a journal, log, diary, anything like that.
Yeah. Make me a spot hidden. Whilst you search for some form of journal.
While that's happening, is there anything sharp in here? Primarily a weapon.
You do see a dagger kind of just jabbed into the desk.
Okay.
I rolled a 22 to an 80.
Okay,
Ooh.
lovely.
Ooh.
Having a quick peruse around the room and opening one of the drawers on the desk, you do see a large leather-bound book that appears to be a captain's journal.
I'm gonna take a peek at that and see, and hope it's not written in Spanish.
Oh man, didn't even think about that.
Some words, not fluent, but some words.
You pull out the book and open it up and start flicking through the pages. Make me, because I'm going to do this to you all, a read and write language.
Mother.
Yeah, I can't back you up with this one.
52 to what?
Because it's the Dark Ages, and
One.
not everyone can read and write. So,
Yep.
what I will say is, it does appear to be in Spanish. But
Are there any pictures?
there are no pictures in the book, but you keep flicking through anyway to try and get to the last entry to see what's going on. Reaching that page, you see that there is the last entry in it appears to be a bit more chaotic in structure, handwriting wise, than the rest of it. Very scratchy. But you do see that the entries are dated. And even though you failed the roll, you do have some limited knowledge of reading and writing, and dates are something you've been able to pick up being a sailor yourself. So you look at the dates, and the current year is 967. The last entry was posted in the year 852.
I would present these findings to the team, to the party. Say, according to the captain's log, this is this is the last entry. How long after this entry the rest of the crew disappeared remains to be seen, but this is something that we found.
There's no way this ship has been here that long, obviously.
Then how did it get here?
Well, how long would you say it takes to drift from wherever they come from to here? Huh.
With origins from Spain, we haven't seen the rest of the ships, so who's to say how many supplies or how much provisions they had before they got here? That would be my only other measurement of possible time if this was not even the intended location for their voyage. A lot remains to be seen.
Keeper, just kind of doubling back here for a second. When we were analyzing the ship, it was very clear that it was recently beached?
Yeah, it appears
compared
that
to
it was...
100 years? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it appears it was recently beached here, otherwise a lot of the fishing vessels in the area would have probably spotted it at some point if it had been here any longer than a week or so.
Right.
And again, looking at the state of the ship, it does look old and worn. Again, there are barnacles on the hull, there is a lot of moss and overgrowth, so it does look like an old ship, so the time frame for the ship's age could match up. The fact that it's only been here possibly a week doesn't match up.
Right.
But
how old did the body look to you all?
100 years, it would have been a bloody skeleton.
When it was breathing?
When it reached the ground.
I don't know, it's certainly a corpse at least, but...
Not 100 years.
Corpse is recent. Location for this vessel is recent. Vessel itself not recent.
We should light
Basira,
torches.
how often do you see a entire crew go missing?
This is as foreign to me as your land is. This is unheard of. I've never experienced or even heard of something like this happening, especially for a warship. Because with this time frame that we've been given from the captain's log, a rescue crew would have been coming for them. A warship is not a standard ferry or a sea merchant or anything else. There would be more people concerned on the whereabouts of this very large and very expensive, costly ship.
Speaking of expensive, I can only imagine what they must have been hauling, and given that we are now the ordained investigators, I believe there's only one more place to go.
Indeed. Light the torches.
Elias would like to pick up the dagger. Does anyone need something of the sort?
Mace over shoulder. I'm good.
Scimitar on hip.
Already have one. Has dagger.
Okay. Fuck it then, and kind of just chucks it back. And yeah, we'll light that torch and head. At least Elias will, speaking for himself, head to the hatch with the lit torch.
Light second torch.
I would like to say I also have a torch, but if I don't have one, I will be breaking off a piece of wood somewhere and maybe.
you could probably do
I
that.
have no torch.
You could probably rip a bit of wood from the desk, and wrap the silk you've got, and use that as a torch.
Is there any, kind of oil lanterns or anything around? Or, just
don't
candles?
See any. You
Okay.
you see the odd candle, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's go check out this hatch and give it a small tug just to see if it's locked or not.
Yeah. So you head back out onto the main deck and head to this hatch. It's like a double hatch that opens up pretty wide. You give it a tug and it opens. It's movable.
Do we hear anything as the hatch, like, is there any kind of scuffling or any kind of noise that comes from down below as this opens?
Make me a listen check.
Okay. What do I even have?
Fun.
Okay. God. Okay. It's a 38 and I need a 35. Can I use luck?
Yeah.
Oh, I almost,
Luck points.
yeah.
I will use 3 points of luck to succeed on that.
Nice.
Okay.
Because that's enough, yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of lift the hatch and then pause for a moment and listen. You kind of turn to everyone and go, I don't hear any. And then you hear a slight creak of a board. Like some pressure on a board, and it's like creak from down below. Just for a split second.
And she's whispering, I heard creaking.
Yes, I'm opening the door.
No, from down below. There is something down there.
I
Its
draw my
weight
sword.
shifted.
It's old wood that does that sort of thing
Please
with age.
be cautious. I don't think it does. Shields. Torch.
Yeah, so hammer ready in one hand, torch in the other.
Shield and torch.
We'll swing both the hatch doors open and not proceed just yet, but we're waiting. See if anything happens.
Can I insight check? Because I'm good with insight. Like,
What are you insight
feel...
That door is in fact open, that
I'm-
hatch.
I'm trying to... I want to know if I have, like, a really bad gut feeling. Like, that's what I want to know, like... I mean, I know how I feel.
I mean,
like, how much is Belladonna...
you're feeling a little bit stressed in this situation. You know, your gut's rumbling. Larkin, if you do hear it, you could probably cure that later with a bit of vomit powder or something.
Yep.
But you know, you feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
You know, nothing feels natural right now.
And so nothing is seeped. Nothing is to be seen, just it immediately as that sunlight pours in.
No,
Okay.
you open the hatches, and the light heads down there, illuminates the bottom. You see a staircase down, and the hatch illuminates that staircase and the floor around it.
Would anyone like to draw straws or? No?
Elias, did you bring a rock by chance?
Yeah, something we can throw. Or...
I did not.
Is there anything around that we can just pick up and?
Did anybody tell anyone where we were going?
We'll be back soon enough. Is there? Do we want to roll a cannonball down the stairs? Is that what we're trying to do?
You just laughed because you know none of us are going from side.
We'll be fine. Yeah, I'll second that. Is there anything small, mid-sized to be?
I mean, there's a corpse not far away.
No, not that. Not that.
Looking around, you don't see any cannons on the main deck. They appear to be. They would be below deck. Apart from a few bits of wood, you don't see much else.
I will take one of the splinters of wood. Maybe? Yeah? Little
Sure.
wood chunk? Little wood chunk.
We're
Well,
simply
uh,
biding our time. Not want to piss off whatever it is down there. Shall we? And Elias will take.
After you.
And with that, start descending, slowly letting the light lead first and letting the eyes kind of adjust.
Okay.
What's that supposed to mean, Danny?
Just a dramatic pause is all.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So you make your way down into the underbelly of this warship. There are multiple levels down here because of the size of this ship, but you make your way down to the first level. And as you get down there and your eyes adjust to the difference in light, it seems quite sparse. You look around, you don't really see anything. You can see that there are rows of cannons along the sides, with hatches that are closed, and there's literally just a little like pull rope, opens a hatch, shove the cannon through, bang, fire, job done. But they're kind of along the sides, and then you see further along there is another stairwell, leads down. There is a room at the far end, no windows but a door, and the same behind.
We should open some of the hatches. As Belladonna's bringing up the rear.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And with that, just kind of sidestepping to these hatches, trying to get the first, if we're near them, just get a couple open and some light bleed in.
Yeah, you can do that. You can pull the rope, which lifts the hatch, and you can kind of tie it off on the cannon itself, which would be an easiest option for you, which brings a little bit more light into the room.
Now, is there any clutter, any cargo, as it would be?
Not that you see on this level.
Got it. Anyone looking? See anything you like?
Should we check behind the doors?
Is there anything on the walls, Keeper?
Again, it seems very bare. Just seems like a very utility level combat situation.
And there are doors we're looking at?
There is a door at the far end, and then a door behind you.
Got it.
Let's try this door right behind us.
Okay, one. After you.
Same thing.
You
It
knock.
was creaking. Yeah, she knocks.
A moment passes. You don't hear anything.
Slowly opening the door, and then stepping away from the door, kicks it and jumps back.
Okay.
Again.
Good
So-
work, Belladonna.
Opening the door and looking inside. This is a room that appears to be directly underneath what would have been the cabin's quarters on the main deck. And inside you see crates and barrels lined up around the room. And no movement.
I would go to one of the barrels and just see if I can rock it, just to see if it's empty or not.
The barrel seems full. It seems heavy. It doesn't, when you rock it, it doesn't kind of, whatever's inside doesn't slosh about or anything like that. There doesn't appear to be a lot of movement from inside, but it does seem full and heavy.
They're kind of fully entering and swinging the torch around, just getting a full lay of this room. That'll be the course of action. Stepping in,
Okay.
getting a yeah.
Make me a dexterity check.
You got it.
Do we want to open one of these up?
One moment.
If they're not on fire?
Ooh, 38 versus 60. Let's go.
Okay,
All right.
so you step in and looking round, and your toe kind of hits something hard. Luckily, you don't trip. Looking down, it appears to be a cannonball that has rolled out of a crate. But as you bring the torch in for the light, you see that the barrels appear to be gunpowder.
You don't say.
You know, this is a level that is full of cannons, and there's, needs to be ammunition
Right.
and stuff. So, good dex roll.
I will be taking this outside. Excuse me. I'm getting the torch away from it, essentially.
Okay.
Do we try the other end?
Is that all
Yeah.
that was? So
That's what this
gunpowder
room
candles?
is mainly full of.
Got it. Right. So far, so good. Seems Hope Cove has a bit of a profit to be made, if I do say so.
Absolutely.
Onward.
Well,
So where are we heading now?
Larkin, you should try the other door.
That would be great.
Yes. As we
So-
all participants, go ahead, Larkin.
Yes.
Yes.
So, moving towards the door. My turn. Move towards the door with the torch, and I assume there's a handle, so I'll
Yeah, there
see
is.
if the handle does anything.
It opens.
Okay. And I push it open.
Yeah, you push the door and it kind of creaks open fully.
Seems fine.
Yes, you've done great.
Okay. And then I just kind of push the torch in, like for the length of my lanky arm.
So doing that and illuminating inside this room, you see that there are what appear to be 3 straw beds. Kind of one central and then 2, one to each side, and then there are crates as well along the edges of the room. Open crates, no lids.
Anyone with ship knowledge can take a look with me?
Look.
I've never been on a ship before.
We're all
Oh.
friends here. Come along, everyone. Yeah. So what's Oh, go
It's a
ahead.
curious cargo.
Let's head on in.
Belladonna will not be entering the room. She will be standing at the doorway, shield out, torch out, and keeping an eye out. Because she's already paranoid.
Unless there's any objections, Elias will head to the first crate to the left, or wherever it might be that's open.
Yeah. So you move over to the crate and have a look in, and there appears to be... You're not quite sure what it is, but it appears to be some sort of leather item.
I'll
Is
pick it
there-
up and look at it. To see if
Precisely.
it's clothing.
Okay.
You're doing fantastic, Belladonna.
Just like, well, she heard creaking. She's just like,
So, Basira, you lift up this leather item and hold it up, and it does, at first glance, it appears to be clothing. Appears to be some sort of, you're not sure, it's got sleeves, it's got pants attached and everything, and you're like, weird. I don't know what it is. It's a weird feeling leather as well. It doesn't feel like normal,
my
like
God.
cowhide or anything like that. But while you're doing that, Larkin, who's got a torch in there, moves it to give you a bit more light, and it appears to be the husk of a person. It appears to be someone's skin.
Oh, bloody hell.
I'm looking away. Haha, y'all.
I would love to look closer at that.
I'll drop it and let you look.
Have at it,
Okay.
Larkin. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is there anything that I can tell from this skin? Has it looked like it's been like traditionally
Make me a
Skin?
medicine
and
check.
tan? Okay.
In Belladonna's mind, she's just going la 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 la.
So, 2.
2,
Out of
very good.
51.
Okay, so looking at this skin, it appears to be human. It appears to be head to toe, a full human body. It appears to have split at the back. It doesn't appear that it has been put through any sort of leathering or tanning process. It appears that it is just, it has dried out. But
And
looking at it, you don't see like any, like someone's been cut out of their own skin. It appears to have just kind of, you know, when you get sunburn and your skin peels a little bit.
Yeah, so that's what.
Just
I
imagine
mean,
But
a
the
whole
whole
body.
thing.
being
yeah.
out at sea will do that to you, man. It's wild.
But the thing is,
And
though,
confirm.
I will say, you look at that and you see that there are several crates in this room, all filled with the same thing.
Assumedly.
Okay. Can I, before I say anything, can I look, just kind of like peek the other crates just to double check?
Yeah, looks exactly. There are crates full of this stuff.
Okay.
Is this standard practice in Spain?
The human skin suits.
Excuse me.
Who's to say?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I've seen this anywhere across any of the lands I've encountered. This is something different entirely.
This may sound morbid, but can anyone count? That is not my strong suit.
I don't want to.
Also, do not have any intention.
Belladonna,
I don't. Yeah?
can you make me a listen check?
Oh. Sure, I
What
sure
was it?
can.
What was
Maybe.
Belladonna's name? Was it
None of your business.
Lucky Donna? What? No, this is Matt asking.
29 to 35.
Okay. So Belladonna, whilst you're kind of stood watching the door, and you can hear what they're discussing behind you, as there's a slight break in the conversation, you hear from below, you hear a floorboard creak, and then you kind of hear this sound.
She backs into the room and closes the door quietly. Okay, I just heard more floorboard creaking, and I heard a really weird, slurpy sound. Something is downstairs.
Right. Well, once more, the tide goes in and out.
Quit being
reacts.
full of shit and listen to me. It was a definitive creaking and a noise coming. It was not normal. It wasn't. This wasn't a trick of light or sound. Oh my God! What's that?
Don't be alarmed, but we did find.
Nope, it's fine.
Human
They're just
skin.
No, it's no.
Keeper,
human, they're
can
human.
Elias go back and grab one of these like cloaks?
I mean, you're all in that
Oh
room.
my God!
He's just gonna grab one real quick and come back towards the door. Is that all good? Okay, proceeding. Here you are, Belladonna. One for the road, with a light toss.
Shield, like, completely. Just, like, taps
Make a
it
dex
off and
check.
it's just, oh, I hate you. Ha! 31 to a 40.
Okay, yeah, you
Okay,
bat, you
alright.
bat the skin suit away.
Right. See, now you're very clearly ready. You're intimidating enough with that mace. No one will jump out at us.
And as you say that, Elias, you all hear from below deck, you hear a splash, you hear the creaking of floorboards, and you all hear a
Weapon drawn. I'm looking around. Whatever it is, it knows that we're here. So I'm in full battle mode.
Should we?
I would like to acknowledge that I may have doubted you, Belladonna.
You should go check it out if you're so certain there's nothing there.
No, on second thought, sir, you might be correct. And...
So, We could just check this out tomorrow.
Fine.
With more people. Or burn it.
But we have to get out.
It's just right there. But it's downstairs. If we move quickly enough. With quiet.
Basira, what is your knowledge of gunpowder?
Not extensive. I have been on a ship like this before. This isn't something that I necessarily handled, but I do have more insight possibly than the party, I would say. So I can try.
I'll get closer to the point. Okay.
Do we want to use the gunpowder?
All I'm saying is if there's something... We have to remember why we're here. Whatever did that to William clearly has ill intent. Now, much like a fuse, I would imagine a trail might work.
I just want to get away from that quickly.
Wow.
Right.
Before it's more aware that we're here.
Are we going back to the deck? How do we...
We start walking.
What?
You all hear a creak on the same level that you're on. And then you hear another creak moving away from where you are. And then you hear another creak. And then you hear what sounds like two doors slamming shut.
Is there a loss of light on this deck?
I have it closed. I have the door closed. I closed that door.
Oh, the room that we're in?
Mm-hmm.
Can anyone else guess what that might have been?
I think whatever it was closed the hatch. And we might be between a rock and a slurpy thing.
Right, well, and is there a chance to give a listen check to see if we're still hearing creaks?
Yeah. By
Okay.
all means, you can do a listen check. You can try and peep through the keyhole of the door. You can listen at the doors. Yeah, either or.
Everyone be quiet. That's a 12 versus a 45.
Nice.
Thank you.
So you listen at the door to see what you can hear on the other side, and you don't hear anything now. You don't hear any sounds outside on the level that you're on or anything. You don't hear anything to the point where you can't hear the crashing of the waves outside from through the hatch or anything like that you could hear before when you was walking around on this level.
Must have been the wind, and unless there's any physical objection, he's gonna go ahead and start to proceed out the door. Elias, I mean.
Belladonna scoots back towards the back of the... The large woman pushes her way to the back then.
Nothing the four of us can't handle.
I will also trade out my torch. I'm trying to find... You know what? We'll take some of the silk and strap my torch to my shield. And take my mace in the other hand with my short... my shield torch. My torch.
I'm gonna take a scoopful of gunpowder.
Oh, that's in the other room, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Are we in the?
That's
Yes.
in the
It was
opposite
across
room.
the.
We're in the skin room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was before we left the gunpowder. I don't know if I have a pouch or something. I want to take a little.
Yeah.
Take a
I'll
little
say you did that before you left there.
Okay.
Is there any way that I can grab one of the skin suits and put it in my knapsack, my go bag?
If you want to.
Yes, I feel like this is something I would need to bring back. As far as, just strange stuff going on. So,
Okay.
yes, I would love to pack one away.
Yeah. You can kind of
And-
roll it up.
Ugh.
Yes, and then just tuck it in. And then I'll take out my dagger and torch in one hand and follow suit with Elias.
Does it have fingers and toes too?
Oh, good. Like a cicada. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're proceeding out this door, heading with the intent to check the status of the hatch, the entry hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you make your way out onto this lower deck and move over to the staircase. The hatch is closed. When you arrive at it, the hatch is closed. You move up the steps and give it a push, and you feel resistance.
In that case, am I able to identify, is it a resistance as if something sitting on top?
You're not 100% sure. You feel that the bulk of the resistance is down the middle, so it could be a case of it's been barred and that's what's stopping the hatch from opening, or there could be something on top of it that is the weight of that is holding it down as well.
Are the two hatches, like where the cannon hatches, are they still open?
The cannon hatches are still open, but they're only big enough for a cannon to fit through,
Right.
not yourselves.
Somebody stick their head through and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, all right, well, there's a solid chance of whatever was down here, Belladonna. Are you still in the room? No, never.
No,
Never
she's
mind.
she's probably right by you now, trying to push the door, and growing panic is appearing on her face.
Right. Well, it seems to have left us. And the way I see it, we can either rot on this deck or we proceed downwards.
Oh, we
Let's
just
keep moving.
Right.
but.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Seating. All right. So finding the steps. If there's no resistance. Yeah, slowly proceeding down, I guess, is the best course of action, unless anyone else has any other ideas.
Hiding in a room and crying.
Nope.
Okay. After you.
Slowly and
Torch
surely.
first. What are we seeing?
Okay. You head down. You head down to the next level lower, and on entering, it appears this staircase on this level is walled on the sides with a doorway. There's no doorway; it's just more of a portal, as it were, to this level. But as you get down the stairs to that, you see that there appears to be some candlelight in the distance. And looking round, you see that there are, I want to say straw beds along the side walls of this level, but I wouldn't really call them beds, or they just seem to be like mounds of like straw, dirt, bit of cloth here and there mixed in along the sides, but in the the shape and size that a bed would normally be, or a bunk for a single person. And then you see that there is another hatch in the floor down, but this hatch there is water there. Like, you've got the square cut out, and then you see water to that level. And you see that there is a wet patch on the floor next to the hatch. And then where that candlelight is, it's a small like chest of drawers with a candle on at the far end, and there are two doors on either side.
Seems our new friend wanted to light a candle for us.
We should bar the hatch.
But
But there was a splash sound. if it's down there, we can keep it in there, and maybe it won't come up here.
If something came through the hatch, then that might be our way out.
But there's water.
That is what they call a gamble, Larkin.
I just mean for now it would stop anything from meeting us halfway.
So, everything you just described, Keeper, how close are these doors? Because there's the arch, correct?
So you've come down this this staircase to this level at the front of the ship. The doors are to what appears to be a room or rooms at the back of the ship. So it's the opposite side, so it's 20-25 feet to the back of the ship. And the hatch with the water doesn't have shutters to it. It's just an open square hole with water to its brim.
Not it will. If anyone would like to take a dip, by all means,
I would say let's check out the fall room.
Precisely. Moving forward.
Stealthily. At the very least, Belladonna is being as quiet and anti-creaky as possible.
Sure.
In spite of her gimp.
I would imagine all of us are on end. Elias will probably follow suit.
Absolutely.
If you're doing so, roll me some stealth checks.
Got it. I'm not even going to bother looking at it. Keeper, would you like to know what I rolled?
Yes.
It was a 99.
Okay. It's the worst you could possibly roll. Fair
yes,
enough.
Precisely. Yeah.
Okay. We'll deal with that shortly. Anyone else stealthing ahead to these rooms at the far end of this ship?
Got a 48 out of 45. So.
Luck points.
What's your luck?
Yeah.
Or do you not have a lot?
It's a one shot. It's a one shot.
Yeah, why not? Sure. Yeah, use them. That's great.
Okay.
Using my luck points.
So Larkin stealthily moves ahead. What about Basira?
Oh. 87 to a 40.
Okay. Basira's not quiet either. Belladonna.
I got a 42. I needed a 33. Trying to decide if I used my luck or, at this point, because of hunky and clunky, if we should just roll with it. So I'm just gonna roll with it and say that my gift doesn't let me do the stealth good.
Okay. So
Still heading
firstly,
towards the candle. Yeah.
So firstly,
I'm still back.
Larkin's stealth roll means nothing. Because everyone else has failed, so as a group you've all failed. Elias, more so than anyone, being the loudest moving forward. So as you guys try to stealthily move towards the rooms at the far end where the candle is lit, you're kind of slowly creeping. Floorboards creaking pretty much every step. Well done. Elias, you kind of have your smithy's hammer in hand, not really paying attention, but you kind of move it to the side as you turn sideways, and there is like some netting hanging down. There appears to have been like a metal pan or something within the netting you hadn't seen. You kind of clang your hammer against it, almost like ringing a dinner bell. As you all continue forward. You all kind of stop for a second when that happens and wait for the sound to dissipate, and then continue on to the other side of the level.
Do we hear anything move after the loud dinner bell?
No. You get to the two doors, one on the left, one on the right. Both closed.
Well, they know we're here now, so
Thank you for that.
of course, yes. Any time. I will proceed with the left. That was rather embarrassing for him, and he's going to check this out
Okay.
and prove once and for all it's just a boat.
You gonna just open the door and look in?
Yep, he's still trudging through with the embarrassment, pushing him forward.
Okay. Yeah, you use that embarrassment to fuel your motives. You open the door, look inside the room, and you see the floor is littered with bones. Mostly human.
Mostly.
Do I have the option to close the door?
Yeah.
Empty, as they are, all full of bones. Who's to say? To the right, yes.
Was there
Bones?
anybody in there?
There were a few people.
Were they alive? Oh.
Who?
Okay.
Precisely.
I assume that might have been the slurping we heard?
It's just the wind. Larkin, that seems like quite
At
your
least
cup of
be
tea in there.
scientific about it.
Yes. This one has to be better, of course. Heading towards the right door, if there's no objection, once more.
Yep.
Creaking that bad boy open.
You just opening that door. Looking inside this room, you see 2 crates and a chest in this room. The chest isn't fully closed, it is open maybe about that much, and you do see what appears to be a silver chain dangling out of the chest.
Is this lit at all, or just lit by the torch and possibly?
Just lit
candles?
by your group's torches, and the candle isn't giving enough light to reach into the room.
This certainly isn't a room full of bones, so to speak. So yeah, we'll open that door and we'll step in, kind of analyzing what we're looking at. So it's the crates in this chest. Is the chest positioned centerfold in the room?
No, it's to the side. The room's a weird shape. You've got the wall where the door is. You've got a straight right angle wall, and then a curve with the ship. So it's kind of like a 3-walled room, but it curves. So on that side wall, you've got the chest there, and then the 2 crates are along the curve, as it were.
Check the
Was
chest,
there-
Elias.
Yeah. Was there a lock on the chest? Like, had it been like lock picked or like
There is
forcibly open?
there is like a latch on it with no padlock, but it just appears that the chest is slightly open with this silver chain dangling out.
Belladonna will lower her torch just enough and kind of like she's just trying to she's just scoping stuff out from the doorway. Like she's creeped into the room and has her back to a wall and is just kind of like peeking. Elias, you should open the chest
Oh.
as I stand here.
Okay, so is this chest prop? Okay,
It's just-
so you open. Okay, the reason I'm breaking this down is because so it's a chest with a top latch that you'd technically swing open, but it is being propped open.
It's not that it's being propped open, it's that it's whatever the contents is inside clears to be a lot to the point where the chest cannot fully close.
Understood. Thank you. I believe we found the boy's treasure.
the D&D nerd in me says it's a mimic, but
So does chat.
Elias sees a chest. Sure, he's going to less there are any objections, proceed and with his toe kick it open.
Okay.
you lose your toe.
Yep.
Any bones?
Hope you
I
like
get
peg
sucked
legs.
in.
So you flip the lid of this chest open, and you see a wealth of riches inside. You see silver, you see gold, you see gemstones, you see gold coins, filling this chest.
They were looking for this.
They were children. I didn't know what they were looking for. Is there any kind of symbolism on these coins that sticks out in all of my years of studying and reading? Good keeper?
Would someone like to make me an accounting roll?
Yeah!
Oh,
Yes! No, but yes!
Or just a spot hidden?
Oh, okay. That works
Okay.
too.
That's-
79
that-
better.
That's a 33, which I was like, well, if it was accounting, I failed. But if we're gonna do the spot hidden, that's a 33 to a 35.
Take what you can get.
Nice.
Yeah, so...
So looking...
And a tongue comes out. No, I'm just kidding.
So looking at the coins within this chest, and trying to discern their origin through markings and such, you don't recognise the markings, but then you do. You're like, I don't recognise that. And then, oh, actually, hold on. You see in the centre a very rudimentary face. It's very square and angular. It has like appears to have some sort of head adornment, almost like a crown, but more of a headdress look. The person has two big circles where his ears are. A very kind of angry, teethy mouth, and then you see that it's got an intricate repeating pattern around the edge of the coin. Kind of like what is being held over there. Very similar. The pattern, Belladonna, is that of your tapestry in the boy's stomach.
Felt that one in me bones.
Ooh.
That's the same pattern. Did they take one of these?
That's not of our concern now. Man,
Oh,
this is
is-
just Matt speaking. I'm hitting a roadblock.
You don't believe we checked their pockets?
No, we have no idea if the kids had.
No.
No, it doesn't matter at this point.
I also have to admit I don't like how foreboding the teethy. How barred was that?
You start to hear creaking upstairs.
There it is.
Close the door.
Moving from above you across to the hatch at the far end.
Okay,
Closing the door.
this is a time.
Quietly closing the door.
Does anyone spend a lot of time hunting? Oftentimes you put your bait quite near the trap itself. Now, if anyone would like to review our situation,
I thought there was nothing in the room next to us.
well, as Larkin pieced together, there are a few people.
So, if it's coming down here, and if it's anything like this, and she points at one of the coins, and that's what bit the child, maybe?
I don't believe we have a whole lot of time to discuss. Listening very quickly, Keeper, are the footsteps rather prevalent?
Yes, they are moving towards the staircase, the covered staircase at the far end down to your level. I'm going to say you've got about 30 seconds of discussion and before whatever's moving reaches the staircase.
Elias is going to proceed into the
Close the chest.
next room.
The bone.
Room across the hall. The bone room, yeah.
Okay.
It'll expect us here. I'm proceeding across the hall. If you'll like to join me, by all means. To each their own.
Was anything disturbed in the room? So if we put the coin back in the chest, close the chest, or leave it as we found it,
Mm-hmm.
and then nothing else was disturbed?
Close the chest, close the door, proceed into the next room.
Close the door.
Following.
Yeah. Staying together. There's no Scooby-Doo nonsense. Let's
Okay.
break up. No.
So you all very quickly put the coin back, close the door, and move into the other room. The rest of you now see that this room is littered with human remains, bones, and there are also the bones and remains of fish, like large fish, bones and stuff in there, as mixed in with the human bones scattered around the room on the floor. You all hurry in and close the door behind you. Yeah?
It's the
Yes.
plan.
Okay. So you do that and all kind of pause, listening for what's happening on the other side. And you hear these footsteps continue on, and they slowly, quite heavy footsteps, move down the staircase to your level. And you hear them reach the bottom, move forward, and then stop. And then you hear the sound you've heard before, and then you there's a pause, and then you hear what sounds like a large inhale of breath, but like someone going, and then you suddenly start hearing as this person starts repeatedly tapping their foot against the floorboard, and then they stop. Everything goes quiet. Okay.
Does anybody wonder if perhaps our flag friend from earlier was a warning?
We're not. I mean, Elias isn't saying shit. So this is if you're saying out of character.
Yeah, that's just a Taryn thought. Apparently,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that might have been a warning.
A moment passes,
Yeah.
and you hear a splash, followed by a thud. You then hear another splash, followed by a thud, and another splash, followed by a thud. And you hear
Oh my
several
gosh.
more splashes, followed by thuds.
Oh man, you understand the story a little bit too late.
And then, and in total, if you're counting, you hear about 17 splashes and thuds. And then you there's another pause, a bit of shuffling, and then a pause, and then you hear a chorus of from outside
Oh,
the
no.
door.
Oh shit.
This is not good.
Belladonna will sit back to the corner, just very quietly, back to a wall, and just kind of sit down.
And I'm going to ask you all one question.
What's that?
How are you all feeling
Good.
now?
Good.
And your characters, how are your characters feeling?
Not good.
Not great. No. Belladonna is internally screaming, but looks dead-faced, and is accepting a fate, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. And Basira, how's Basira doing right now?
Yeah, just terrified. This is like nothing she's ever experienced. So she's just kind of
Okay.
paralyzed almost.
Inspecting this room, just looking around, is there anything but bones?
Not that you see. You hear shuffling outside.
Is there any kind of hatch or loose board?
There's
No.
not,
Or-
there's not.
The shuffling gets a bit louder, and then you hear a sound, and the door handle starts to turn.
Grab it.
Larkin grabs it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Immediately.
I'll
Yeah.
grab it as
Belladonna
well.
takes
Yeah.
Belladonna takes her mace to what is seemingly the wall of the ship, and at this point is frantic. I rolled for this because I roll compulsion checks on myself all the time, and just kind of in a fit of like panic, just starts bashing at the wall of the ship as hard as she can to make. I mean, it's animalistic, just adrenaline trying to get through out, trying to scratch her way out essentially with her.
Okay, so to set the scene, there is sounds outside en masse. The door handle is starting to open and Larkin is now holding the door handle, trying to keep it closed.
With assistance, yeah.
With assistance from Elias. And Belladonna is trying to smash the wooden hull of the ship open in an attempt to escape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's where we'll end it tonight. So thank you very much everyone for watching. This was Wreckage, our Cthulhu Dark Ages little show.
That's my favorite ending to just about any game I've played. Wow.
Thank you very much for watching. Who knows what's going to happen to these people? We may find out. We may find out. We may not. You never know.
I like that. I like that.
Right.
But yes, thank you very much for watching. Just to give a quick shout out to our sponsors before we go around the room and say our goodbyes. Session Zero Clothing, D&D inspired streetwear clothing, really cool stuff. Definitely check them out. Use the promo code ORDER at checkout for 15% off. Norse Foundry, again, amazing arts and dice makers. Use the code TIO15 for 15% off. Roman Player Gear, our very faithful TIO member Ray of Got DM. If you use Carnaby20 at checkout, you can get 20% off the tabletop dice tower, dice tray, dice vault combination. So definitely check that out. It's a really nice set. And then again, we are proud to be ambassadors of Jaspers Game Day, which is a charity raising awareness and prevention of teenage suicide. If you'd like to get involved and help them out, check the link in our About section. They do some amazing work and some really cool streamed events and shows. So check them out. So yes, that was the show. Before we leave, if we go around the room and hype ourselves up. So we'll start with Sara.
Woo! The hype train. If you want to follow me on Instagram, that's where I'm most active at Sara Moni Cosplay. That's SARAMONI. And same on Twitter. And yeah, feel free to tell me what you think. This is my first time doing a stream, so I'd love to hear your feedback and what you thought of our cliffhanger ending.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. Next up, Matt.
Hello. Yes, you can follow me at Matefson on Instagram or Twitter. But more specifically, Initiative Order does a fantastic job with their Call of Cthulhu games, and if you like that kind of content, we do the same thing over at Spot Hidden. That's at Spot Hidden on Instagram and Twitter. Right now it's Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Central, other time zones, and we are in a Miskatonic modern setting. So we'd love to have you join us. June 6th is going to be also a new start to a new story, which I think I can say that much.
Nice.
But yeah.
Awesome. And next up is Ayla.
All right. Hi, Ayla here. You can find me on Instagram at Assistant Ayla. I will be playing with the TIO group in their Alien game in June, so looking forward to that.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that's about it.
And then last but not least, Taryn.
Hey, so Taryn, you can follow me as a creator at Valrook. That's BALROUK. I share lots of random stuff, including dice and cat pictures on occasion. You can also follow my soon-to-be open dice shop at UO_dice on Instagram. That's Umbral Oculus Dice. And then starting June 7th, Vault returns to the Twitches. And I will be playing Miss Peggy Sue James, so you better come tune in because it's a great blast. We have an amazing overseer and a badass crew. So, do it.
Wonderful. And not that it matters. I'm Danny. Check for traps on Instagram and everything, and you'll find me on the Initiative Order, lurking in the background and everything. thank you very much for watching. We are going to be raiding Blackwater D&D, who are an other great TTRPG streaming channel and group. So please stick around for the raid and give them some love. Use the word Wreckage to let them know where you've come from. And yes, we will see you again on some more interesting shows. So thank you very much, guys. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.